Great. First of all, I want to thank everyone, especially at the back, who's been standing for the last hour. I hope it's been worth it. You can tell me after I'm done. So, ladies and gentlemen, this year we're faced with a pretty tough choice. We have to decide who to elect between a criminal, a communist, a robot, a crazy racist businessman, and the only politician in history to be more hated by his own party than the opposition. What I'm saying is, America's in trouble, okay? The next 4 years are a wash, but in 2020, we need to elect a leader who can actually get the job done, who can bring America back from the brink, bring America back to the light. And I have found that leader in Kanye West. Last year, when Kanye won the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award, he announced his intention to run for the presidency of the United States in 2020. And the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Some of you might think, Kanye, isn't he that jerk? Isn't he that guy that gets up on stage and ruins people's lives? Well, I'm going to point out 3 aspects of Kanye's character that I think really point to his adequacy, his perfection as the US president. First, the Constitution, the bedrock of American democracy. Every president has to uphold the US Constitution. But to uphold it, you have to understand it. Does Kanye understand the Constitution? Let's look at an example. Okay. The first few articles of the United States Constitution talk about the separation of powers, which basically means you want to have different powers allocated to different branches so that no one person becomes an autocrat. It's a pretty good idea. Does Kanye get it? Intuitively. I think Kanye understands, right? Intuitively, Kanye, in 8 words, can explain what took 4 articles of the US Constitution. Do you know how many words it took the US founding fathers to explain this idea? 683. Kanye did it in 8. Now, I'm not saying that Kanye West is smarter than Benjamin Franklin or George Washington. But what I am saying is that Kanye gets it. On a fundamental level, Kanye understands the US Constitution. The next thing I want to talk about is something you're all probably familiar with. The Taylor Swift incident. So, 2009, Taylor Swift wins the Best Music Video Female Artist Award at the VMAs. And during her acceptance speech, Kanye gets up on stage to inform us all that, look guys, Beyoncé, in fact, had one of the best music videos of all time. All time. Okay. This led to a lot of backlash, including President Obama himself calling Kanye a jackass. Lots of people weren't very happy with Kanye West after this. But I think the situation deserves more context than it was given. Beyoncé did, in fact, have a pretty damn good video that year. Single Ladies, you might all remember it. You probably remember it better than Taylor Swift's music video. I thought it was a pretty good music video. Kanye thought it was a pretty good music video. But you know who else thought it was a pretty good music video? MTV. Because they gave her the Best Music Video of the Year award. But she lost Best Music Video of the Year Female Artist. That doesn't really make much sense, right? It's like if you lose the AFC Championship, but you go on to win the Super Bowl, right? But unlike you or I, when Kanye sees this kind of injustice happen, he doesn't just sit idly by, okay? Kanye chugs a bottle of Hennessy whiskey, he gets up on stage, and he does something about it. And that's the kind of guy that we need to be president of the United States, okay? The last thing I want to talk about is the economy. Now, for some of you, the economy is probably just that thing you're planning on ruining when you join Goldman later this year. But I'd posit to you that it's kind of important, okay? You might recognize some of the people behind me. They've dedicated their lives to understanding the economy. Does Kanye understand the economy? Again, I would say, yes, he does. Kanye understands that you can't have a strong geopolitical base without having a strong economic foundation to base it off of. And that's why Kanye doesn't discriminate based on race or sex or gender or religion. Kanye accepts us all with open arms because he recognizes that we're all valuable contributors to the economy, which is more than I can say for some of the candidates running this year. The last thing I want to talk about is the fact that Kanye is, in fact, himself quite wealthy. Kanye has made it in America, and he can pave the way for the rest of us. Now, some of you might not be too happy with this. You might think Kanye is entitled, a jerk, someone who thinks he's a special snowflake. But I'd point out, that's what our parents' generation says about us. Okay. We've elected the first black president. We might elect the first female president. But in 2020, let's elect the first president from our generation, the first millennial president. Thank you very much.